of Sir Robin's boat. So imagine in a port in UK, the two wonderful people meet each other and the boats are parked next to each other. So such moments have happened yesterday. Anyway, I'll just invite a lady whom we met for the first time, Sarah. She made a beautiful statement. Look at the culture in UK. We believe after 18 you're thrown out of the house. But here, I won't tell you Sarah's age, but after a whole career, she decides to look after her father by moving in there.
Received an email letter that he was able to throw to somebody off New Zealand, and he'd drawn a picture of a man's legs sticking out of a whale's mouth, and thinking, oh, you know, what's going on? So I enjoyed riding when I was little, riding ponies, and he asked me what I would like for my birthday. I thought, well, you don't ask, you don't get. So I said, I would love a pony. And there was a few moments and he said, how about a dinghy? So I enjoyed my dinghy very much. It was terribly good. Who remember the first time you rode your two-wheeler bicycle on your own? And you think, I can go anywhere, I'm free. And it was a bit like that with a dinghy. And over the years he's done all sorts of racing and been the best in the world at it. But to us, to me, he's dad, and to my children, he's granddaddy. Now, I'll tell you something. I'm blessed with 5 lovely children. They're not children, but you know. The oldest son and the youngest son have been on voyages with him, and it's changed their lives. They are confident, much more flexible. And yeah, it's that confidence which they wouldn't have had they not done those voyages. And the other thing about staying with my father is you're very spoiled, because you know if anything should go wrong, if you go through a storm, he'll know what to do. And it's very spoiling when you sail with some other people. It's a little bit worrying, but you know, as long as they stay within what they know they can cope with at sea, because the sea is brutal at times. It's also very, very beautiful. The wildlife in it, you know, it's fabulous. As long as people stay safe, it's a wonderful sport. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money either. So I would say if you want to have a go, please have a go. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. A few more things about the voyage. Let's go back to 1968. Nobody has gone round the world single-handed, solo, non-stop in a sailboat. 9 people, voyage of madmen. 9 people take off from different parts of the world in the first international race, hoping that somebody will break history. Sir Robin, another famous gentleman called Bert Montesi. Of course, French are never famous, right? It's only the British who are famous. Okay, all of them take off from the respective places. The sailor, Mr. Montesier, sees land, something happens, decides to go halfway around the world. I think Abhilash can tell us that better. And settles down in some island in that part of the world. There's another gentleman, Donald Crowhurst, who commits suicide or supposedly commits suicide, abandons his boat due to various reasons. You can read up in the net. There's only 1 out of the 9 who completes it. And I asked Sir Robin last night, what made you complete it? Typical British thought process. I started a job, I had to finish it. Now, this is for all the youngsters sitting at the back in NCC. Discipline. You take up a project which has not been done by anybody in life before, and there's one thought in your mind. This is what I've been working for. I've started it, I'll finish it. He comes, like he said, you go home from an office. He travels around the world in 312 days and finishes it. You just think about the greatness of that statement. What I started, I finished, no other thought. No other romanticizing that I'll go off somewhere else, I will do something else or whatever. What he set out for, he finished. And look at the human side of Sir Robin. Last night he said, I never did it for the money. The money was not of interest to me. He takes his prize money of 5,000 pounds, sir. 5,000 pounds in 1968, okay, and gives it to the family of Donald Crowhurst, the gentleman who's committed suicide. So this is another lesson. Of course, if I start mentioning too many things, the event will never get underway. So leave it at that. Cheers. Here do. We'll now like to express our appreciation for both of them in the Mysore style. Meanwhile, one more thing. Mr. Abbas Wagh is here, one of the famous industrialists of Mysore. Abbas sir, what is your age? 87. 2 years younger is 85 here. And we are not sure whether tomorrow he'll wake up and go around the world once again. What they share in common, he wakes up every day despite his children looking after his business. He's at the office still taking care of everything. Right. One of the big supporters of RMSC. Sir Robin, please. Sarah, please come. Our President RMSC and Suma, may I please request you to give us 2 minutes of yours, Bunny. Pitta Kodi. Sapna, help me out here, yeah. Others will keep looking what's up. Bunny Suma. One nimsha, Iri sir. One nimsha. There are two beautiful Mysore samples today. Mysore Mallige and Sumaji here. Okay. Come Ajay. Sarah. Shawl. Aamele topi. Sarah, just bend forward a little bit. Bunny Suma. Audio cut Madi. You will now hear Sir Robin, something which he has never said in his life. He is going to do it for the first time. Sir, I love Mysore.
Okay.
I love Mysore. In English. It's on.
Acha, theek hai. Shukriya. Yes, I love Mysore, but I love India. I lived in Bombay for 4 years. My daughter was born when I was in India, so I tried to get her an Indian passport, but they won't give me one. But no, I love it out here. I feel very comfortable, very at home, and I'm very fortunate I've got some great Indian friends. So thank you for welcoming me, and I'm loving being with you. Thank you.
Now you will hear the female version of the same thing.
What a beautiful country and beautiful people. As Dad said, I was born in Mumbai, so I feel I've come home and I feel very welcome. You're most kind. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, for coming all the way. Please, sir. I mean, that's a British family. Feels almost like an Indian family. Sumaure. I'll now request Suma to render invocation song in her wonderful voice. Idu athwa adu? Whatever is comfortable. Sapna, lighting the lamp ka ready kar.
Thank you, Captain Arvind Sharma, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Today I'm going to sing a song on Lord Ganesha, the embodiment of Viveka, wisdom, and Karuna, kindness. He is the God who removes all the obstacles from any event we come up with. So this is for Lord Ganesha. भुजगभूषण करुणा गजानन भुजगभूषण करुणा गजानन भुजगभूषण करुणा गजानन अंबर के अभिमानी शंभुदेवन सुत अंबर के अभिमानी शंभुदेवन सुत इंबु तोरी सुनी विश्वभर स्मरणेगे इंबु तोरी सुनी विश्वभर स्मरणेगे भुजगभूषण करुणा गजानन श्रुति प्रतिपाद्य श्री वेंकटेशन अद्भुत श्रुति प्रतिपाद्य श्री वेंकटेशन अद्भुत हितरिन्य ಗೆಲ್ಲನಿ ಗತಿಯೆಂದು ನಂಬಿದೆ श्रुति प्रतिपाद्य श्री वेंकटेशन अद्भुत ಹಿತರಿನ್ಯ ಗೆಲ್ಲನಿ ಗತಿಯೆಂದು ನಂಬಿದೆ ಭುಜಗಭೂಷಣ ಕರುಣಾ ಗಜಾನನ ಭುಜಗಭೂಷಣ 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 ಕರುಣಾ ಗಜಾನನ Thank you.
Thank you, Soma. The only husband in the world who claims that his wife listens to me, to him, I must thank him, Prakash. He is the one who ensured Suma came today. That's a Mysore family. His son flies Black Hawks for the US Army. Can you imagine that sitting here in Mysore? Right, so we move on to the next part of the day. Sorry, she put sense in my head. Can I request all the guests to come and light the lamp? So you all may have to get down. Be a little careful while getting down. Come, sir, all of you. Bhabhi, come, please.
Can we stand here and do it? Or?
Sure. Laziness has no place in circumnavigation. Bhabhi, you can stand, you can be here like Abhilash and light it from here. I love it. I love it. Who? Dhanraj. He's the only guy who works in RMSC. ಬೇಡ 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 ಸುಟ್ಟೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬೆಸ್ಟು. Sapna, move it off. May I request all the guests to please get back to the chairs. Sir, अब आपका नंबर है. Okay, the next story. In the 70s, a young army officer, imagine not navy, army officer, has a proposal for his bosses. He says we must take an Indian sailboat round the world. Remember, Sir Robin has just finished it about 20 years back. And this young army officer wants to know internet, nothing. How he researches, I have no idea. We'll wait for him to tell you. After 5 years of trying to push the proposal, the army officer, instead of sailing, goes this hang gliding and goes bangs into the mountain in Pune. And in the hospital, they take away one leg of his, without his permission, of course. And that's Major A.K. Singh. Major A.K. Singh continues to persist, meets the then army chief. And the army chief smiles and says, do you still want to go around? You don't have a leg now. He says, now definitely I want to go around. Not only does he go around, he becomes the first paraplegic to sail around the world. Major A.K. Singh. Sir. I never take him on. But he gives me a kick, I won't survive. You want this, you want that. Okay.
Thank you, RMSC. Thank you, Arvind. It's been a dream come true to meet Sir Robin. I waited a long time to shake that hand. It's great being here in Mysore. It's a privilege. And amongst everybody here on the stage, I feel rather humbled, if I may say. Yes, in 1978, there was everybody here will agree that opportunities and mentors are highly big catalysts to achieving something like what we have all endeavored and done. I think for me it started by sailing a very small boat, a seabird, which you will see in Mysore also. A seabird class boat that we sailed from Mumbai to Karachi and then to the Persian Gulf port of Bandar Abbas. I wouldn't advocate that anymore because the seabird has only a freeboard of something like 6-8 inches, and even a good, a medium-sized wave could just poop the boat, fill it with water, and it'll go under. But yes, that's where the sea kind of got into me, you know, like jungles and mountains. The sea is a great lure. And when I came back, the army was a little out of action, thank God. There were no real body bags coming back, which is not the same thing as it is today, unfortunately. And we had to go and take out our energies somewhere else, and adventure was one of them. So the sea was already quite a lure for me, and I said, well, what's to be done? So I said, let's sail around the world. No, well, not really so. I just sailed, you know, even going to Persian Gulf is more or less I won't call it coasting because we were more than 50 miles off the shore. But yes, it is going along the coast of Gwadar and things like that, the Makaran coast. So I could only see that much. I couldn't see, I had no idea what the oceans are like, none at all. One must remember 1978, when there was no intercommunication even within a few thousand miles or a few hundred miles. So there was no question of having information on call like you have it today on your fingertips. You just got to Google and it's all there. So I said, well, I've done that. Let's go back to the sea. So the first thought was, why not sail the seabird along the coast of India and on a great voyage of discovery and enjoying the sea coast, enjoying the ports of India, great lessons to be learnt out there and meet people. After some time, you know, the mind has a habit of progressing on your thoughts. Create greater challenges for yourself, whatever is achievable. You always think of what is achievable. That's what the bars are there for. You know, the bars set by people here on the stage. So I said, well, if we can do that, I mean, it was all speaking to myself though. Maybe I can go coasting from port to port all the way to Madagascar or South Africa somewhere. Like the army does, you know, when we move from bound to bound. That means you make it a chewable distance, you know. You just bite what you can chew. The next thought that came up was, if you can do that, maybe venture a little more out and maybe you can take a boat around the world. As I said, I didn't know the oceans by then. So, all right, so the thought was there to sail around the world. I had to keep very quiet because those were the days when any thought like this would have invoked and did invoke a lot of negative response, a lot of cheeky snickers that this guy is nuts, he's crazy. And those were days when people even insinuated that this guy wants government funds, he wants to go abroad. And the only people who did go abroad those days, 1978, 79, were very, very lucky guys who had some reason to be able to go abroad, some relatives or friends. There were very, very few people who did that. And then they came back with tourism brochures and they said, well, sailing, boats, beaches, martinis, sunshades, umbrellas, bikinis, this guy is going to have fun. So they said, well, that's what this guy wants. Little did they know what the oceans can throw at you. And, you know, crossing the Atlantic, you don't have a martini in your hand, if I may say so. So I had to keep rather quiet. There was a lot of kind of such thoughts around. But then you have people who kind of know what adventure is all about. And then there was, in the army, we have General S.N. Sharma, who's turned 101 just about a few months ago. And he did his last para jump at about 85. We have Admiral Awati, who has given the vision for where Indian circumnavigation is going today. And it's an open-ended, you know, it's open-ended even now. The ceiling is not yet broken, I should say, although we've had some people who have already pushed the ceiling rather very, very high. That's the vision of Admiral Awati. So General Sharma was the engineer-in-chief, and I met him on his 100th birthday last year. And he said, AK, after I lost my leg, that was 7 years after I started planning, 6 years. He said, people asked me that AK has lost a leg. Do you think he can sail around the world? And he said, my answer was, you don't sail with your hands and legs, you sail with your heart. So if I sail around the world, a lot of it goes to General Sharma. He said, this guy may be crazy, but he deserves a chance. So he said, why don't you go to England? Why don't you go to England and meet people who have actually sailed around the world? Because I tried to ask in India about ocean sailing, and I got, there was nobody who knew anything. I asked the Navy, they said, those days the Navy was not sailing before the mast. I'm so happy to see, because every first-class Navy in the world must sail before the mast. And that's where we are today. That again is the vision of some very great people. And the Navy said, the friends I knew said, we only sail steel ships. We know nothing about ocean and waves and sailing. There was an officer called, I forget his name. He was posted to London as a AM Assistant Naval Advisor, saying that he would sail the Flying Dutchman or something for the Olympics, and he wanted to train. So when he came back to India, I said, well, do you know something about ocean sailing? He said, no, I know nothing about ocean sailing. But then somebody had thought about subscribing to 2 magazines in the Corps of Engineers. One was Yachts and Yachting, and one was Yachting World. I'm sorry to say they aren't subscribed anymore. Of course, most of them are now available online too. And then we had some Royal Engineer officers who had left some sailing books in the CME library, College of Military Engineering Library. So that was our starting point. And I got the blessings of people who thought, yes, this may be a mad idea, but it is worth a try and it possibly can be done. Of course, when I went to England, then I met yachtsmen around the world. I went on casual leave. The Corps of Engineers said, what are you prepared to pay for it? Either you take the airfare or you stay there, or the cost of stay there. So I took the airfare because it was tangible. I didn't know how much I'd spent in England. And I went over there in the Corps of Engineers, the Royal Corps of Engineers. They had yachtsmen who would sail around the world. I met them, and of course they said the obvious thing. People have sailed around the world, and if people have sailed around the world, so can you. It was an obvious answer, but it was a big booster. I came back, I said, where do I get the boat? And a point I'd like to make is I was reading somewhere that Admiral Avati was enthused by a book written by Joshua Slocum, who sailed around the world solo in 1895, I think. And I happened to have read that book in the CME library, not knowing about Admiral Avati's reading the book, but I can say that that book is what really motivated me too. It's a very thin book, I think just about 50, 60 pages or maybe less. And it's well worth a read by school-going children because it doesn't contain technical jargon. It's a very simple elementary book. Now, crazy as the idea was, and the boat was the next thought, I thought we had a boat building loft, a boat building yard in CME, College of Military Engineering, Pune. The College of Military Engineering in Pune was the one that started the Yachting Association of India. We had a sail loft in Pune. I said, let's try and build a boat in Pune. Let's design it on the lines of the Spray. That was Joshua Slocum's boat. And then the idea came out of the box, and some people started hearing from me about it. And they said, AK, if you try to build a boat in India, it will take your life to do that, because that was 1978, 79. There was no intercommunication between continents, between countries, imports, equipment, stuff like that. And then they put me on the track and gave me some wisdom and said, go pick up a boat from the ocean sailing countries of the world and then sail it around the world. If sailing is what you want to do. Then we went to England. Of course, as Arvind just said, we pushed the project for 6-7 years. We got very funny responses from the bureaucracy. Someone over there said, this guy wants to have fun. Why do you want to sail around the world? So we had to quote from books and say, this is what the oceans throw at you. So then Pat came the reply, then why do you want to sail around the world? Something will happen to you and your families will sue us. So we had to give a certificate saying, don't worry, we will not claim anything in case something happens to us. So we were given special casualty. You see, the Army can't go to sea as a professional venture. The Navy can. So it's like Captain Kohli put 7 people on the Everest, a naval officer. So the naval people, those days, the Navy was going to the mountains, so there's nothing very strange about the Army going to the sea. So things like that. There was also a query, why do you want a helicopter with you around the world? Somebody threw in that little spanner. So I said, a helicopter going around the world is a bigger adventure than a sailing boat sailing around the world, because a sailing boat is meant for the oceans. A helicopter is not meant for the oceans, and you can't even refuel it from the top. Somebody else said, why do you want a naval ship with you around the world? I said, we don't want one. So there were all these spanners being thrown in and stuff like that. So then, of course, as Arvind said, just before the government sanction came through, I didn't know the government sanction is likely to come through. I lost my leg above the knee, and I have already said about the take with General Sharma. So he said, well, anyway, AK, you got to go and select the boat. So I went to England. The Royal Engineers again stepped in and gave me good, sound advice. They hired a coach for us so that we get to know what the ocean sailing is like. And the English Channel is amongst the best sailing grounds, sail training grounds in the world, with all its swinges and races and with all its cross currents and hidden rocks and stuff like that, and the weather that moves in within no time at all. And we selected a 14-year-old third-hand boat because we didn't have any money. And we rechristened her from Guinevere of Sussex. We rechristened the boat to Trishna of India. And we sailed the boat from England to Bombay through the Mediterranean Sea. And the Mediterranean Sea is not, the summer Mediterranean Sea is not the same as the winter Mediterranean Sea. It was a great training ground for us. We learnt our following winds in stormy conditions. We learnt our sailing in the Mediterranean, which can be quite horrendous, to stop the boat from broaching in a huge storm with, force 7, 8 or more times not there. That was in another place, Cape of Good Hope. So that's how it all started. The rest is pretty easy to kind of follow. It's all over the net. We were very fortunate, as Sir Robin has said, and all of us here would second that. About 90% of success is made up on how well you prepare. And I think I would also say, and how you can all the time, sleeping or waking, think about what next can go wrong and prevent it before it goes wrong. In fact, that habit has made me quite a pain at home, as Asha will know, that I still keep on thinking of what could go wrong and still keep correcting everything that can possibly go wrong. That's what it is about. I had no aspirations of becoming the first physically handicapped man to sail around the world. It didn't start that way. It just so happened. But the oceans gave me so much that it really doesn't matter. Well, that's about it. Thank you.
Well, the pearls of wisdom, especially for the NCC youngsters from this talk, is no ocean is deep enough to drown your dreams. No storm is strong enough to wreck your dreams. And you don't need all the body parts to begin something. You just start and prepare well, and hopefully everything works well. Wonderful. And A.K. Singh sir is not a genuine sailor. He has kept one lady in his life for 45 years. So he is not a genuine sailor. Let's be clear about that. May I request A.K. Singh sir and Bhabhi to please come. Chalo guys. I'll request our President Ajay Singh to come and honor. You want to do it or close RMSC? Aja. Yeah, President, Vice President. Dolly, can I request you to please come up? Or your friend, whichever way. ಚಲೋ ನೀವೇ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡಿ ಮುರಳಿ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ದೊಡ್ಡವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡಿ ಅಣ್ಣ.
a solo trip. But we need people to, we need a support team, and that is how Abhilash landed up with me. And together we sailed and then through Mauritius, and then I got in there and started sailing alone. And once I finished my trip, I knew our team, always ahead of everyone, said that we should do something more now. We should raise the degree of difficulty now. Now that we have the experience and the boat. That is how Abhilash trained for his non-stop circumnavigation. So the next level was to do a non-stop circumnavigation. I did it with 4 stops. By the time Abhilash finished his circumnavigation, Admiral was already thinking of a women's circumnavigation. So we did that, patched up the team, and the 6 women officers sailed between 2017 and 18 and became the first Indian women team to do a circumnavigation. So till 2009, till 2010, when I finished my circumnavigation, India didn't have a single circumnavigator who had done a circumnavigation around the Great Capes through the Southern Ocean. By 2018, in a span of 8 years, we had 8 circumnavigations in the country. There's 1 circumnavigation a year. So that's quite the pace we built it on. And now, as I speak, there are 2 women officers again going on for a circumnavigation on the same boat built in India. So that's my story. And then when I tell this story to people, or when I would go for talks and so on, people would come back and tell me that, look, you sold us on the idea of sailing. We would like to sail. We would like to do offshore sailing and, sailing beyond sight of land. But how do we do it? In India, there is just no way you can do it. There are no boats available. There are no marinas. No one provides these services. So in 2018, my partner Sucheta and I, we bought a boat and we decided that we will offer this experience to anyone who wants to sail offshore, do offshore sailing. You don't have to be in the military, you don't have to be a naval officer or in the army like Major AK to do this. So anyone who wishes to do it can do it, and that is what we've been doing since then. And the aim is to sort of make this ocean sailing a very commonplace occurrence. It should become as common as going for a small trek, which is very popular in India, and remove this whole phobia of the seas that many Indians have. And we have people who have sailed with us. Gaurav is there, Suren is there, and they sail with us, and they want to sail back again and again. So that's interesting. Maybe they can tell you a thing or two about their experiences. Thank you.
So there we learnt what's a big deal. I mean, you can just do whatever you want to do, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. It's for others to figure out what a big deal it is all about. Anyway, but notice the story doesn't stop with the first Indian doing a circumnavigation solo. The story starts there. When he comes and starts this service for people like us to benefit from, he realizes that going around the world solo, he's not capable of doing it from Bombay to Goa. So if sailing was a crime, he takes on a partner in crime, Suchetaji, who makes sure he doesn't lose his way from Bombay to Goa or Goa to Bombay. Am I correct, ma'am? I'll request Suchetaji to speak a few words to us. This is the big deal.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here with all of these stalwarts of sailing people I've heard so many stories of adventure from. And I got into sailing when Dilip was training the 6th Academy officers. I used to bunk rides with them on the weekends. and realized that I liked the idea of sailing and I wanted to do more. Unfortunately, at that time, there wasn't enough of training available for civilian people. As you notice, most of these people are from the services, and civilians had very little resources to learn to sail. So that's when Dilip suggested that I participate in the Clipper Round the World race. That's a race that that takes about 12 boats around the world every other year, and each boat has about 23, 24 people on it, crew on it, half of whom do the entire round the world race and half of whom choose to do a leg or multiple legs in a race that has about a dozen odd stops that keep changing in every race. Sir Robin started Clipper as one of the bells and levers he took up after his circumnavigation. And I spent 4 weeks training with Clipper in Portsmouth, and that's what helped me then do a transatlantic sail from Punta del Este in Uruguay to Cape Town. And it was an amazing experience, but the seas were crazy. I was seasick throughout that entire trip. And yes, Dilip tends to downplay all of these things, but I think you should know that yes, there are challenges, and to add to that, our boat, the one I was sailing in, was also struck by a whale, and we had a huge hole in the hull, and we had to turn back and get it repaired. All very exciting, and we turned back and sailed back to Cape Town. I think most of the Clipper team was quite worried at that time, since we were the only boat sailing back from Punta at that time. So without expecting it, when we came into Cape Town, we had the entire town waiting to celebrate with us. So not only was it an amazing reception, it happened to be on my 50th birthday. And the cherry on top was that Sir Robin was waiting to give me a big hug at the end of that ride. So for all the adventure and all the upsets we had during that race, I decided I'd keep on sailing, and as luck would have it, we got Antara about a year after that race, and we've been sailing her ever since. Just a little note about Antara, her name. Dilip sailed on a boat called the Madei that was built in Goa, and it was built by a gentleman called Ratnakar Gandhikar at his yard, Aquarius shipyard. And Antara is also built at the same shipyard. And she's named Antara for a reason. In Indian music, you have basically the way, based on Indian music rather, what we thought was that if Mahadev was Dilip's Mukhra, then this boat is his Antara. And we hope to continue sailing on her and introducing more and more people to sailing with the help of Antara. Thank you.
So that's Nari Shakti for you. Now, Captain Dode is not just firstindian.com. His biggest achievement, not written in any book, is a man can sit on a boat. Of course, he doesn't smoke. I have not seen him smoke. He can sit. So that's in Abhilash's book. So you have Captain Dode with this huge steering wheel, parked himself very comfortably. And the sails are going up, sails are going down, ropes are being pulled, everything's being done. Sorry, Captain Dode is doing nothing at all. He has got this woman jumping right round the boat all over. That's her. Has any man managed it in this hall? I don't think so. That's the first Indian mail.com. You sit at the steering wheel. Normally it's the wife who makes you work. Here he makes the lady work. So that's Captain David Dode for you. Okay. Abhilash, you want to know the smoking part? When you smoke. Okay, Chirag. Okay, time for us to honor Captain Dilip Donde and Sucheta. Pawan, can I request you to just do a small walk, sir? What did you He's gone? Okay. Nitin, can I request you to come? Darshan, please come. You're the boss. What is that, please? You did it. Well, we now come to the last part of the event. Captain Vivek forced me to start a venture capitalism company to fund circumnavigations. And he put in a major part of the money, of course. I put in about 5 billion yen, Japanese yen. And the first company we funded in was Abhilash Thornton Company. The money has not come back, and we will be clear about that. So, using this venture capital funding, Captain Abhilash Tomi did his third circumnavigation, 2.5. The first one Navy took care of, second one also the Navy took care. They paid more for the rescue than for the circumnavigation, right? I don't have to say much about Abhilash because when I was introducing him in a function, a lady got up and said, "Shut up, let him speak." So I had to shut up and let him speak. Let him speak. Nobody speaks the way he does. So I'll request Abhilash to come and talk to us, please.
Thank you, Captain, for the promotion. I'm a commander, but he has promoted me to captain. Robin will have a problem with that now. Robin is a captain. No? Yeah, that's what. I'll come to that point. I had a long flight. I did not know that I was supposed to give a speech, so just excuse me if I say something that's out of line. It is true that Captain Arvind Sharma introduced me at the Mysore Lake Fest. And after 20 minutes, one lady said, "Please shut up." And I said, "Okay, I'm ready for the question answers." If there's anything that you need to know about me, it's out there in the internet. I don't think it's necessary that I repeat all those things here. But what I'll do today is I'll tell you about things that are not generally heard of, in the internet or in the things that people have written, etc. First of all, I'm a brand ambassador for an AI company. It is the second biggest private space company in the world. I know nothing about AI, So what I do is I go to office and I tell my colleagues to call me Your Excellency because I'm an ambassador. I've been associated with all 6 circumnavigations that happened from India, touched India, all 6 circumnavigations that have gone south of the Great Capes. First was the Volvo Ocean Race in 2008, where I was the yacht services manager. Second was Captain Donde's circumnavigation. Third was mine. Fourth was Navika Sagar Parikrama. Fifth was mine again. Sixth was again mine. And the 7th one is 2 women officers who are sailing around the world right now. They left Fremantle. They're doing the same route that Captain Donde did in 2009-10. They headed to Fremantle from India. They left Fremantle on 24th of November and they just rounded Cape Leuven yesterday and they're on their way to Littleton. Now, all this is not the reason why I'm here. The real reason why I'm here is to keep the average age low compared to these gentlemen on stage. Sorry? Ladies are not circumnavigators. I'm only talking about the circumnavigators here. I have a personal story regarding each person here on stage, and some of you are not on stage. For example, growing up, Captain P.C. Menon, can you please raise your hand, sir? He is the officer in charge. He is the officer in charge of the ocean sailing note, which has been instrumental in preparing these 2 women who are going around the world. I have a contract with him to train those women, but my association with him goes back to school days when his mother used to be my mathematics teacher, 11th and 12th standard. So all my childhood trauma and PTSD, and as an adult can be traced back to that single event. But at the same time, she prepared me so well that you know, when you do celestial navigation, you are constantly solving spherical trigonometry problems. I think I got quite good at it thanks to his mother. Then we have Captain Arvind Sharma, my childhood inspiration. Yes, when I was a teenager, I was very confused what to do in life. I asked him, he said, just join the Navy, start sailing. Am I right? And fly also. He told me to do all these things. When I finished my first circumnavigation, I asked him what next. I was really lost. He said, go do a race. I did the race, I broke my back, came back and I asked him what next. He said, don't worry, get on your feet, do all your physiotherapy, your surgery has gone well, go for another race. That's this gentleman. Why is Sapna smiling? Sorry, I'm telling you all these things because he told me to tell her. He gave me a message before I boarded the aircraft saying, these are the things you have to say. But yes, he was talking about the 5 million or 5 billion yen.
5 billion.
5 billion yen. It is true. At least that part is true. I had a horrible accident in 2022. My boat hit a ship and the bow was crushed. And I needed nearly 50 lakhs, half a crore to repair my boat. And I was very short on money because I'd blown up all the money of sponsors. And that's when this gentleman came and put up 5 billion yen. That's 10 lakh rupees. What? That's just 10 lakh rupees, and we got Captain Shanbag who also put a sizable amount. Of course, he doesn't want, I mean, he told me not to take his name. So this time I'll take his name, I'll not take the amount. I'll not just tell the exact figure. But it is because of the help of such people that I was able to attempt my 3rd non-stop circumnavigation and, you know, somehow start and somehow finish it. And then we have got Major A.K. Singh on stage. I think I was a 5-6-year-old kid when I saw a documentary about Trishna going around the world. And I decided growing up that this is the only thing that I want to do in my life. And sir, you've been an inspiration since then. You're an inspiration now. And thanks to him, I got the idea of, you know, sailing around the world someday. And then we have Captain Donde on stage. I was the first Indian to do a non-stop circumnavigation, but if you ask me, I'll tell you, it's far more difficult to do what this gentleman has done. Because before him, there was no precedent, there was no boat, there was nothing. You have no idea how difficult it was to build a boat, following all naval procedures, rules, tenders, committees, this, that. It's unbelievable. And at the end of the day, you have to believe, you have to have trust in that boat that you've built and sail it around the world. And when I had to do my circumnavigation, there was a boat. That was 90% of the problems taken care of. The Navy knew that it was possible, so the Navy was willing to fund me, and all I had to do was, just do some repairs and head off on a non-stop. I was very privileged, incredibly privileged to have been his shore support. I've seen him at close quarters. I know what a true sailor should be, and he is the embodiment of all that. One thing that really sets him apart from any other person would be just this simple fact. In India, you do something, you get all the glory, you don't want anybody else to do it, right? He was not like that. He did a circumnavigation with stops. He convinced the Navy that we had to do a non-stop. Of course, Admiral Avati was there, it was his idea as well, but Captain Donde convinced the Navy that we had to do a non-stop. And when I was doing the non-stop, the roles reversed. I was shore support for him when he was doing his around the world. Now, in spite of the fact that he was 10 years senior to me, he became my shore support. And that's how the second non-stop happened. Of course, we had a lot of experiences along the way, and there's one experience that I will recount. He stopped in the Falkland Islands, where I flew down to give him support. There was no internet anywhere in Falklands. We used to use the boat's internet, which was very expensive. And one day we went to a restaurant where we had this little board which said Wi-Fi available. And I asked the waitress, what's the rate? How much is yeah. She said it's 10 pounds per hour. I calculated it was 1,000 rupees an hour. I asked her, do you have any other plans? She said, no, I'm free for the evening. I said, no, I meant to ask, do you have any other internet tariff plans? And she took off, She's like, I've been on this damn island for the last 9 months and nobody's asked me out. And the first time somebody's asked me out, he's actually asking about the internet tariff plans. Well, we have Robin. Like Captain Donde, I did not know anything about Robin. I was introduced to Robin through Dilip. Then I started sailing with him. I read his book, A World of My Own, in one of those voyages. In my non-stop circumnavigation, Dilip was in India. He gave lectures at, I think, Maritime History Society and the National Defense Academy. And I appeared through a Skype call. I interfered in his talk and they saw me and all that. And then, after I finished my circumnavigation, I went to the United Kingdom for some tourism and to do a course on sailing, etc. And I was stopped at the immigration. I was taken aside and they asked me, excuse me, why are you here? I said, I'm doing some sailing courses and I want to see around London and all. They asked me, do you know someone in UK? I said, yes. Robin? Who Robin? I said, Sir Robin Knox-Johnston. I said, welcome. So, if you happen to land in UK and the immigration guy doesn't let you in, just say you know Robin. So I was doing this course in Southampton. I got a night's break. I went to Portsmouth and Robin came and picked me up in his car. That's the first time I'm meeting him. He takes me home and from there we decide to do what all sailors do when they meet. We decide to hit a pub. Robin got really drunk. He started singing all Indian songs, Zindabad. And on the way down, he slipped. Sorry? The stairs collapsed under the weight of his... No, the stairs were very steep and he just crashed. His head was bruised. I think there was a bruise on his knee. Sorry? Yeah, I swear. Should have seen the stairs. I dragged him home, and the next thing he does is he takes a cabbage and starts chopping it. Abhilash, I know you're a vegetarian. Let me make dinner for you. This is at 1 in the morning. And I was sure that he will chop off a few fingers too. I took his phone. It was unlocked. And I dialed the last number he dialed. I thought it was probably his girlfriend. Turned out it was Sarah. And I asked her, do you know Robin? She said, of course. I said, he's hurt. Can you come and help? And she rushed. And we dressed Robin. Turns out, Sarah shares the same birthday as my brother and my son. Yes. Now the year, the same day, 7th of March. Fast forward, I wanted to take part in the Golden Globe race. I built a replica of Robin Soheli. I take it to England, Falmouth. Robin sails in. He comes to my boat. He signs my logbook. Again, sings Hindi songs from Alamara. And on the way out, Robin asked me, how long do you think you're going to take to finish this race? He's already laughing. So Robin had taken 312 days. I tell him, sir, 311. 1 day less than him. Robin says, you are young and ambitious. I tell him, sir, you're old and jealous. That's when Robin throws rank at me. He holds me by my collar and says, damn it, I'm a captain in the Navy. I say, my apologies, sir. I'm just a commander. I'll take 313 days. Now please, let go of my collar. Well, we have another story of Robin stealing a barometer, taking it around the world, 1968. It was given to him without the knowledge of the owners, by himself. 50 years later, Robin returns the barometer to the same pub. Or was it the same barometer? Well, it's okay, you're old, you forgot. Anyway, 50 years later, he returns the same barometer and it gets stolen again. It's in my boat now, going around the world. Well, we got stories and stories, and I can keep you entertained with many more of them. But this is just to give a glimpse of what the life of a sailor looks like. Of course, a lot of interesting stories, interesting tales. We visit far-off lands where otherwise people can't even dream of getting to. But behind all this is a support system for which I'm always thankful. For me, it was the Navy. It was Shanbag and Captain Arvind, my emotional support. Since childhood. It was my sponsors like Bayonet. It's my family, my parents, my mother, my wife. People who have always been giving me a lot of support. So I hope to see you guys someday. I hope our paths cross at sea someday. Thank you very much.
There's only one Sir Robin. And for sure, there is only one Abhilash. Okay. So thank you for coming all the way. But now let's play a slanging match. How do two different people achieve the same job? Number one. Hello. How do two people achieve the same job? It depends on the characters. Now, Sir Robin comes for this seminar to Mysore. Sir Abhilash also decides to come for this seminar. Okay, let's see how do they do it. Sir Robin identifies a wonderful set of friends in India, arrives, they drive, pick him up from Bangalore, they take him to the jungles, he comes with his daughter. Everything is planned, British sense of doing things, timing. How does Abhilash do it? Comes screeching in at 6 a.m. on the day of the event, gets driven, no friends, nobody, but one of the RMSC friends, Sojan, where are you? Thanks for bringing him on time, right? And the problem with Abhilash is what he wants on board is silence, nobody speaking. So anyway, they come screeching. Where does he go first? The bathroom. because he has to have his weekly bath. Sir Robin is properly bathed, dressed like every day. Then the hotel guy calls me, sir, you have to pay a little more deposit for Mr. Abhilash's room. I asked him, why? Sir, he'll remove the toilet door and repair something in my hotel. Sir, where did you get that? He said, I read that he took the toilet door of a ship and made it a rudder or something like that. So anyway, I said, done, we'll Google pay the extra amount or whatever it is. The program starts, Sir Robin is here prior to the start, and then Abhilash lands up when the program is yet to pick up steam. So job done, two different ways, so 1-0. We'll talk more about it as the time goes by, right? Sir Robin, did you borrow any Japanese money from anybody for circumnavigation? Did you borrow Japanese currency from anybody for your circumnavigation?
No.
I don't know why Abhilash had to do it. Anyway, okay.
It's because of this book.
Oh. Well, there are some things on a more serious note I'll share about Abhilash. I can't stop talking about him, but anyway. Here is a man who's the first Indian solo circumnavigator non-stop. You can't ask for anything more. He proves it that an Indian can do 2013. He gets out in the Golden Globe race, courtesy Sir Robin's creation. Turn back the clock to 1968, prior to Sir Robin doing, with that technology, no GPS, no Google, nothing, goes round the world or attempts to go round the world, and then almost gets killed in the no man's land. Where is the no man's land? 2,000 kilometers west of Australia, 2,000 kilometers south of India. Think of your geography, 2,000 kilometers east of Mauritius. Nobody could reach him for 4.5 days. Indian Navy reconnaissance aeroplanes could go over him. And what's our man doing? He's fallen from the topmost mast on the deck, he's broken his back. He's trapped himself lying down waiting for probably being rescued or probably never to be rescued. And what does Abhilash do at that time? This is for the young NCC students. He is planning his next race. He's about to die, he's planning his next race. So that's why I said there's only one Abhilash. Now cut to Sir Robin. Sir Robin didn't do this because he planned not to get killed. And he made sure he executed his plan. 2-0. Okay. Now come to another strange thing. Sir Robin must have planned his voyage probably years in advance when he attempted it. So did you take time to prepare? Okay. He did because he realized planning helps. Abhilash, in his third attempt, 2022, everybody has finished trials over the years to participate. 4 months prior to the event. It's an impossibility. This only an Indian can do, nobody else. 4 months before the departure, Champ lands up and finds a boat, no money, but still does it. And he starts crowdfunding. Imagine he's probably 10 crore brand, having done what he has done. So you can't doubt him. And he starts crowdfunding because he's a civilian now. Doesn't stop his dream. He's a retired naval officer. And how much money do Indians put in? Not even enough for him to buy a boat. That's a shame, a matter of shame. History records for all of us. An Indian who has done what no Indian has done had to struggle to participate and represent India in a race. And how does he return the favor? Middle East company, Bayanat, which he mentioned, for which he's working now, they sponsor him. It's a UAE registered boat, goes around the world in the race, comes second. I mean, he probably could have. He's fixing his boat all the time, which no other competitor had to go through. And in the end, how does he return the favor of us Indians? He takes an Indian flag and flies it. So that's 1-2 now the score, because I can't imagine anybody doing it. He could have changed the citizenship status of himself, but for whatever reason. And it's unfortunate that his boat, the iconic Bayanat, is taken care by another company in UK, and we don't have it in India. And he is taken care by a foreign company, and we don't own him in India. But we always like to call him an Indian. Of course, he also doesn't disown the country. So that's Abhilash for you. And for the youngsters, this is what it is. For your passion, for your country, nothing matters. Like John F. Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you. So that's a lesson we learn from Abhilash. Okay, the no man's land that he got stuck was, the nearest human being was 130 kilometers from him, but could not help. Any idea where it was? If you have heard his talks, you will know. 2,000 kilometers away everybody is, but there's some human being 130 kilometers from where he is, with his broken back. Space station, full marks. So they could see him. I don't know whether they decided he's not worth giving time to, or they decide they can do nothing about. So anyway, what does Sir Robin do? He chooses not to get stuck in the no man's land, and he finished India doing in circumnavigation. Oh sorry, Sammana. Patwari Sabha Pao. Chair ready. And look at the way Abhilash prepares. Sir Robin brings a lady with him, his wonderful daughter, and this man comes without Nari Shakti. So these are the differences in approach. Music hagbide. Thank you, Abhilash. I mean, you've never said no when we've requested you to come this part of the world. He just said, I love Mysore. Is that what you said?
I'll say anything for that 5 billion.
Yeah. I'm going to tell his wife, Urmi, that he has family here. Family that we have not contributed, family that he has contributed to. I'm afraid I'll have to handle as a lawyer paternity suits for him in this city. No, don't believe that. He's never here long enough to do anything useful. Okay, done. Thank you again, Abhilash, for coming all the way. Right. Now, a reality check as to where is circumnavigation in India today. Our dear friend Captain Prashant Menon, he has multiple introductions. He is an eminent naval officer. He is looking after the ocean sailing node, the nodal agency which coordinates all these long voyages. And there is something which effort is by somebody, credit by him. Our famous sailor in India called Aditya Menon. Coincidentally, he is the father of that young boy. Okay. Right, sir. Please update us about what's happening.
Sir Robert John Knoxon, it is indeed an honor for me to have shaken hand with you. It's been a dream come true. Major A.K. Singh, sir, I am from the same school as Abhilash, so whatever he knows, I know. Whatever has inspired him has inspired me, so you have been an inspiration. Commander Dilip Donde, I keep bumping him even today. In fact, last week, we were saying, and both Sucheta and Commander Dunde were there. We were waving hands. Yes. Then comes Abhilash Tommy. He is supposed to be junior to me, both at school and in Navy, but he is always there to correct me. And let me tell you, we both had the same maths teacher in the school. And the class teacher also, which he didn't say. He was surviving her only during the school hours. You know how much I survived. But anyway, those were formidable days. If we are here, a lot of credit goes to her. Now moving on to what Navy is doing now, and that is what I am here to speak to you about. Abhilash told me, sir, speak less, no facts and figures. So I changed my presentation to have a lot of pictures, short movies, so that I can make it a little more interesting and make you realize what is the preparation that goes into Sagar Parikrama or a circumnavigation, and how is the life on board a sailing vessel. So, Navy, as you know, had 3 circumnavigations before. The first was called the Sagar Parikrama by Commander Dilip Donde. Thereafter, Abhilash took on the Sagar Parikrama 2. And then we had Navika Sagar Parikrama by 6 women officers. And the next obvious challenge was to reduce the number of the women officers and bring it down as much as possible. And therefore, we started this project called Navika Sagar Parikrama. And this project is with 2 women officers. Yeah. So, we had 17 volunteers, and out of them we selected 2. The volunteers were asked in 2021. They started their initial selection processes, and by May 22 they were with us. The first officer is Lieutenant Commander Dilna, as you see, and the other one is Lieutenant Commander Rupa. Now what is not common with them, the name is different. One is an engineer, other is a commerce graduate. One is from Puducherry, other is from Kerala. But there is something very, very common with you, and it is common with many of you here. The National Cadet Corps. So that means National Cadet Corps grooms people to do something different, something which is unique. And I'm sure many of you will move on to do something greater than them. All the best to you guys. See how they were training. Even in their training days, they were at par with the men there. And that's what is Nari Shakti to you. This is what our president said: the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Please dream, continue to dream, and make sure it happens. So we sailed, like you said, it was an Indian boat in which they're sailing, INSV Tarani. Commander Dilip and Abhilash sailed on Madai. This is the same class, same design, but it was launched later. This is how the boat was initially, a skeletal, a wood boat. Then you had a GRP on it. Then you had a structure, and then the mast came in. So moving on to the preparation, you can see everything starts with studies, practical training. You can see Dilna and Rupa doing diving as well. Abhilash has been there. He's been mentoring them for the last 1 year. You can see one of the officers here, they're climbing the mast and doing the repair work. So if you remember, Commander Dilip Donde said, every day I go to the yard and come back, that's my exercise. What does he do in the yard? Something like this. A lot of effort goes in the preparation. Here you can see them doing medical treatment preparations for that. We've trained them that even if there is a fracture, they can treat each other. Work on the boat. Everything is done by them. Even they had a class on media management, how to handle media. So every aspect which was there, we have trained them on that. And now after the diving, you can see Rupa has pulled out some rope which had stuck on the propeller. This is the work they do on the boat. Clean the bilge, every part of the boat, so that the boat is spick and span at every time. Sailing, we have sent them on many expeditions. Some important sailings which I wanted to say is, they went to Mauritius in 2022. It was a pair of 6-member crew. Dilna and Rupa and 4 more experienced yachtsmen. They came back. Then the next expedition was to Rio de Janeiro. They went from Goa to Cape Town to Rio, and came back. Here we had a slight difference in the combination. The 2 women officers sailed to Rio and back, but the other crew members changed around. So we were giving them experience with different crew members, different styles of sailing, so that they can assimilate. This is the time when Abhilash joined us, 2023 May, and what was next is, you know, you have a 6-member crew, now we have to reduce it. What are the intricacies involved? What are the styles involved? What changes you have to do? This is where Abhilash came up, and within 3 months they were ready. In November 23, they sailed to Sri Vijayapuram and came back, being the first pair of Indian women to sail across a sea for such a long time. Moving on, the next expedition was in Feb 24. It was an Indian Ocean expedition, Goa to Mauritius and back. Yes, again the first Indian women to go on a transoceanic expedition. So Navika Sagar Parikrama was flagged off on 2nd October 24. Once it is done, it will be the first double-handed circumnavigation for women. I'll show you a short movie before we move further.
I'm really excited. We're well aware of all the.
It's almost 3 years. There's a upcoming years. There's a challenging one. I feel
Circumnavigation involves sailing around the world, starting and ending at the same port, navigating through rough seas and storms of the Southern Ocean. We use only sails, we harness the power of the breeze. For a true circumnavigation, we must cross the equator twice, sail a distance of minimum 21,600 nautical miles, and pass via 3 significant capes: Cape Leuven in Australia, Cape Horn, and the Cape of Good.
everything has to be done by ourselves.
You need to manage the boat, like put up the sails. It's very physically demanding and mentally demanding.
Right from repairing of machineries and navigation, even cleaning, cooking, everything.
In the middle of the sea, if anything goes wrong, in case we are far away from the land and we don't have any immediate support.
I do have fear. It's very important that you have a right amount of fear so that you are safe and the boat is safe. You have to be mentally very strong to go through the extreme weather conditions, rough seas, storms, gale force winds.
There's no teacher better than the sea. When you see the nature at its full force, which is something you cannot fight, so it just becomes an act of survival.
So I've got a few more movies and videos. Can I move ahead on the slide? Yeah, so this is what is the simple life at sea, what they were mentioning about. Yeah, this is some more clippings which I have. Dilna is working on the boat. So you can see here, Dilna and Rupa are stitching the sail which had got torn up. This happens. They have to do it themselves, navigate and plan their passage, which route has to be taken at sea. This is from their present expedition. I have taken some shots, some work they are doing. So adjusting and trimming the sail is a regular feature through the day. This is how a stormy night looks like. And they are sailing the boat in these conditions. Some work in the forward part of the boat, as you see.
Look at this chicken curry.
Even the food is prepared by them, there's nobody else to cook for them.
Smells amazing. I'm not sure how it's gonna taste.
Yeah, I hope when you cook also you take credit.
We have 4 rotis in one packet.
So we have, we got the help from the Defense Food Research Laboratory, which is here in Mysore. They've given them some packed Indian food, which is specifically designed for expeditions and soldiers who are in living in extreme conditions. So we had some help, and obviously after all this work, this is quite natural. So what I want to bring here is that, you know, sometimes what happens is you're so much stressed, so much tired that this just happens. So this is the route we have generally taken, which I have already mentioned. You've already seen in the video, but this is just to show you once again.
How the sea state?
So the sea state is 4 right now.
Okay, I am monitoring your progress on a daily basis.
This is the Chief of Naval Staff who flagged off.
The Indian Navy's Navika Sagar Parikrama 2 expedition by Lieutenant Commander Dilna K and Lieutenant Commander Rupa A on INSV Tarini was flagged off by Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi, the Chief of Naval Staff, from INS Mandvi on 2nd October 2024. Their movement was very slow in the first week of October due to low winds. During this time, Dilna and Rupa had ample time to rearrange their boat.
These are all the foods which we have got from home. These dates were given by Tommy sir. My mom's masala. Look at this chicken curry.
How many rotis are there in one packet?
We have 4 rotis in one packet. I think we should give it to our DFR guys. It smells amazing.
Continuously 30 knots of wind blowing off Kannur. and the sea is completely lit up. It's so beautiful with bioluminescence.
Dear sirs, seniors, fellow ocean lovers, and all our well-wishers, we were really happy to know that you all are tracking our progress very enthusiastically.
Finally, we got some wins after long time. We seek your blessings and good wishes while we sail through the oceans. Jai Hind.
Shamna Varuna.
To the south of Kanyakumari, winds picked up with 3 depressions in the Indian Ocean, one from Africa, the second from Oman and the third from the Bay of Bengal. With 35 knots, the winds moved up. Dilna and Rupa crossed the equator on the 16th of October. On 19th October night, while they were working, they had this beautiful sighting of comet A3.
We are lucky to see the comet A3 clearly above us, right?
And you know what? This comet comes once in 80,000 years only.
While heading southwards, strong currents pushed them westwards. They crossed the Tropic of Capricorn on the 27th of October, with yummy food stacked inside Tarini. Sourced from DFRL and some food from family and friends, the duo still share the cooking chores.
Namaste everyone. Wishing you all a very happy Diwali from Indian Ocean. As we celebrate Diwali on board RMSC Mysore, although we are very far apart, we remember the light that connects us all. Happy Diwali. Happy Diwali.
Wish you a very happy Diwali, sir.
Yeah, so wish you a very happy Diwali at sea. You are there in our thoughts, and we will obviously celebrate Diwali on your behalf as well. You are likely to reach Fremantle by next week.
Winds altered, favoring them to proceed to Fremantle. The sighting of the albatross is a sweet welcome into the temperate zone.
We have been sailing for more than a month now. We'll be reaching Fremantle in another 2 days.
We're going to make landfall soon, but for us, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, and this journey has been amazing so far.
Presently, they are about a day from the shores of Fremantle. The whole nation looks at them in pride as they approach their first port of call.
Now we will see what photography and videography and personal experience they have while at sea. This is a photograph taken by Navika Sagar Parikrama 1.
Continue.
A glimpse of activities in Fremantle.
Adventurous 4,900 nautical miles across the Indian Ocean in 39 days on board INSV Tarini. As part of its circumnavigation expedition, Navika Sagar Parikrama 2, Lieutenant Commander Dilna K and Lieutenant Commander Rupa A reached Fremantle in Australia on the 9th of November 2024. They were heartily received by dignitaries, including the Consul General of India in Perth, the Defence Advisor from Canberra, representatives of the Royal Australian Navy, members of the media, and Indian naval veterans residing in Australia.
If you want to.
after a warm welcome, celebration and felicitation from the Consul General of India, Dilna and Rupa were honoured at the Parliament of Western Australia for their significant achievement of sailing around the world on board INSV Tarini.
Saturday the 9th of November 2024, the Indian naval sailing vessel Tarini, commanded by Lieutenant Commanders Dilna and Rupa, docked in Fremantle, the first step on a circumnavigation of the globe. I also want to acknowledge the Indian Navy officials for their role in empowering women in their Navy and for fostering Navy cooperation between our two countries.
And wish the Lieutenant Commanders all of the very best and fair wind for your travels around the globe.
After a busy schedule filled with several diplomatic functions and meetings, Dilna and Rupa found themselves busy preparing for the next leg of their expedition.
We're going to tack and
We have some buttermilk and lassi left from India.
After finishing all the maintenance work of Tarini, Dilna and Rupa filled Tarini with adequate ration as their next port of call will be at Littleton in New Zealand.
And we feel proud to undertake this expedition on behalf of Indian Navy. Fremantle was amazing and we are fully geared up for the next year.
With the blessings of the entire nation, Dilna and Rupa left Fremantle on 24th November at 11 am, continuing Navika Sagar Parikrama 2.
भारतीय नौसेना की भारत माता की जय नौसेना की भारत माता की
So moving on, my final movie, it is a short message for all of you here.
Hello dear members of RMSC, all the three legends and my dear NCC cadets. We are sending this message from Southern Ocean on board INSV Tarini. We are on our second leg of circumnavigation. We are sailing towards New Zealand. It's a great adventure, although it is getting tougher.
We are truly grateful for all the support and encouragement we have been receiving from the Indian Navy, our fellow officers, friends and families. Your faith in us gives us the strength to keep going.
To all the cadets, we have a special message for you. We both have started as NCC cadets. That's where we learned the spirit of adventure and discipline.
We encourage you all to take every opportunity life gives you. Dream big, work hard and push your limits. Let your spirit of adventure guide you. Jai Hind!
I hope this presentation encourages each one of you to take up something adventurous, something different, something extraordinary, and something which you want to do from within you. That's all. That's the message I want to give you. Thank you.
Thank you to Aditya's father for taking time off at such short notice, come all the way from Goa. They have just returned, Abhilash have just returned from Australia, probably a week back or so, and despite that they were kind enough to make it here. Okay. That's about it for the day, but before we close, two things I want to share with you. A.K. Singh sir almost destroyed RMSC today. When he spoke about seabird, seabird is a banned word in RMSC. We borrowed 4 boats from RMYC. Daksha, you're not listening to this. Vivek gave us 4 seabirds which were not really being used in Chennai. And we started RMSC with that. And he said, when will you return the boats? I told him the moment we are on our feet. Today we have a boat strength of 90. The seabirds have not been returned. So please don't say seabird in RMSC, sir. The second part is a very unique endeavor of Abhilash which has not been really highlighted. Here is your biggest gamble of life. You are an individual, you are a civilian. You put all your money, all your borrowings, whatever, into one risky adventure. adventure. And how do you ensure that no insurance guy will deal with them? 10 days before GGR 2023, Abhilash decides to take his boat out with others for a small side sail of 2,000 kilometers. And you saw Dilna and Rupa who went to sleep. They did it because of tiredness. He did it because of cheekiness. He goes and sleeps, and his mathematics from his school teacher is so good that he finds one big tanker and goes and rams it head on. And this is not an NCR testing.
That's not how it happened. I'll tell you the story. We all had to, all entrants had to gather at a port called Gijón. It's in Spain, North Spain. And from there we had to do a short race to La Sable d'Olonne, from where we start the circumnavigation. It's not 2,000 miles, just 120 miles or so, I don't know how much. And I had a manager who was British. He was on my boat. He was. No, he was British. I had a German kid on board. He was a photographer, and we three set sail. It was a race. There were. I mean, all entrants were there in that race. I did the middle watch, and this German guy did the morning watch, and I was sleeping inside when this English guy my manager was on watch. He was reading a book. He was reading a book, Robin. I know. So my briefing to all these guys was very simple. You see anything, tell me. You see a boat, a ship, dolphin, whale, you see the wind change, just tell me. Don't touch anything, just come and tell me, that's all. And this guy, this manager of mine, English boy, he was reading a book during his watch. As per our calculations, he should have seen the ship 45 minutes ago. But this book was so interesting that he did not take his eyes off the book until after we collided with the ship. And this English boy sees the ship after the collision, and that collision cost me 50 lakh rupees. Guess which book he was reading? A World of My Own by Sir Robin. Autographed by him in 1972. 1972. Let me finish. Autographed by Robin in 1972, saying that his wrist was healed or something like that.
Well, the first thing I'd say, Abhilash, is you're not very good at choosing crew. And secondly, obviously my book inspired the young man to not keep a proper lookout, which he should have done. So it wasn't actually Abhilash's fault, except he picked the wrong crew. And there's a lesson. Be careful who you pick for your crew, because your lives depend on each other. That collision could have killed them all. Luckily it didn't. But it is a lesson for you. Whenever you go to sea, if you're crewing, you've got a crew, whether it be a warship, merchant ship, a yacht, you're a team, and you're dependent on each other. And everyone's got to pull their weight. And on this occasion, one bloke didn't. But he had the right distraction after all.
Thank you, sir. Taking a lesson from Abhilash's adventure, every major automobile company in India outsources the crash testing to somebody else. They don't put one of their crew on crash testing. Okay, well, there are others. So next time we talk about Donde sir smoking, we'll talk about crash test. Sir, कुछ बोलना है? Something else? नहीं बोलना है उसके बारे में? Well, again, I mean, this couldn't have been better. Sense of humility, the ultimate achievement of being the first one in humankind. Still a father and a daughter like we see them in India. Human care, handling aging, and he still has not hung his boots. You never know when. He's the oldest man to do circumnavigation, not just the first. But you never know when he breaks his own record whenever he chooses to. Yesterday Vivek sent me a message. Vivek thinks he's a fit guy with martial arts. He said, I'm eating tiny morsels. And Sir Robin is enjoying himself drinking and eating. So there is no aging there for sure. Okay. Right, we have seen how men are dependent on women and still take the credit and something else like that, okay? Sucheta ji just told me when the movie was going, it's not Dhonde sir who climbs the mast, it's she who climbs the mast. Anyway, so thank you very much for all coming. The NCC guys, I'm sure what this will, support you in is that all you have to do is dream. That cannot be outsourced. Everything else, destiny will come to you, whether it's resources, whether it is support. You don't need the perfect timing to start your endeavor. You just do it. Whether you're the first, whether it's a big deal or no big deal, it doesn't matter. When you die, you want to die happy. You want to say, I did what I wanted to do. So all the best to all of you. For the NCC youngsters, your food is coming. You're the only ones who are entitled to food, because you're the only ones who deserve that. Rest of us have eaten too much. Okay. So thank you. And then any one of you want to join us for the private dinner with our guests can do so in the evening at 8 p.m. Same hotel on the front side. Ajay Singh sir, our president, is very generously doling out those secret coupons. Please take one from him if you want to join us in the night. And tomorrow, anybody wants to come sailing, you are welcome to the RMSC. The brochure has the QR code. So on Google Map, you can figure it out. 31 kilometers from here. There are no seabirds there. There is nothing from the Chennai club. Daksha, you are going home. Okay. Right. Thank you very much. Can we request a standing ovation to our special guest out here, please? That's a warm-up. This is an internal. Okay. Small gesture from our president. I hope Sir Robin accepts it. Ajo, sir. It's a certificate of honorary membership. I mean, it's too much for a small club like this, but we will still take the courage of offering it. Ajo, sir. Patwari, Mahinder Patwari. And the club chief for Sir Robin. Just to summarize, RMSC may be a small club, but Sir Robin is honorary member of that club, right? So not only you love Mysore, we all love you, sir. Abhilash got the membership automatically the day he carried the Indian flag. It's here, sir, it's here, it's here. No, we don't give to people who bang their sailboats. That's right. Thank you very much and look forward to seeing you either in the evening or tomorrow. Thank you to all the NCC youngsters and your senior officers. Thank you so much.